In temples forgotten by time, where the stones keep secrets and the walls seem to whisper stories of other ages, there was an artifact that wasn't worshipped or touched with blind devotion. It was understood. A silent object, but one that had the power to change destinies. The pure mirror. But this was no ordinary mirror. It didn't reflect appearances. It didn't return physical images. It was a vibrational portal. An energetic mechanism capable of translating internal content into external form. Those who dared to stand before it with total honesty received much more than a reflection. They received a revelation. The existence of these mirrors was known only to those who had overcome the veils of the ordinary. They were the initiated, the trained, those who had learned to maintain silence, clarity, and inner firmness. In Egypt, they were called interpreters of the light. In India, the advanced disciples, the Dikshit. They knew that to look into this mirror was to look at oneself with such intensity that the world around them changed. But this knowledge has disappeared from the eyes of the modern world. Not because it was lost, but because it was forgotten. And even today, millions are looking for manifestation techniques without understanding that the secret isn't in the doing, it's in the being. The mirror is not magic. It is a reflection of the real nature of the universe. A precise response to the vibrational frequency sustained in silence. It doesn't respond to shouts, nor to empty repetitions. It returns what you vibrate most consistently. Imagine this. You no longer need to convince the universe to give you something. You just need to remember what you're emitting without realizing it. Like this content now, if it has already sparked something within you. And write in the comments what you feel has been most reflected in your reality lately. This gesture is already a sign of alignment. Now, stop and look at a maxim repeated by cultures that have never met. What's above is like what's below. What's inside is like what's outside. Many treat this as philosophy, but the ancients treated it as an exact formula, a living equation. This is the basis of the first reflex, universal correspondence. It's not about belief. It's about functioning. If something on the outside seems blocked, disorganized, or repetitive, the source isn't out there. It's on the inside. It's as if the universe were a liquid mirror, sensitive to every thought that vibrates within you. The way you perceive yourself defines how the world behaves around you. If you believe you don't deserve it, the roads close. If you carry shame, you attract judgment. If you vibrate with authentic confidence, doors open. Not by miracle, but by direct correspondence. And this has already been demonstrated, not only spiritually, but also scientifically. In recent years, neuroscience studies have shown that the human brain does not distinguish between physical reality and vivid mental imagery. By repeatedly visualizing an experience with emotion, the body activates the same circuits as if it were already happening. This reconfigures your biology, your electromagnetic field, and, consequently, your reality. The ancients knew this empirically. They taught that the universe responds to a state of being, not to a verbal request. That's why they trained awareness before any intention. It was necessary to cleanse, organize, and align. This process was called Darpan Shastra, the art of becoming pure reflection. In other words, not allowing passing thoughts, traumas, or fears to contaminate the vibrational emission field. They knew that every thought generates a trace, that every emotion registers itself as a form in the invisible, and that this form returns over time. They called this the law of mirrored return. The truth is simple. The universe always reflects you back. What you feel most often, what you believe in most strongly, what you hold on to in silence every day. For a better understanding, take a look at these examples. 1. When someone feels deeply insecure, they unconsciously turn away opportunities, even if they say they want success. 2. When a person believes that love always hurts, they attract relationships that confirm this view. 3. When someone starts practicing true gratitude, they notice subtle changes, as if life is responding more lightly. 4. When you hold a new thought for 21 days, with emotion involved, the brain creates a new neural network, strengthening that truth. This shows that reality is shaped by the dominant frequency, and you can choose that frequency, not with forced effort, but with practice and awareness. Apply it now. Choose a simple, affirmative thought, something like life cooperates with me, or everything is flowing easily. Repeat it with intention, morning and night, for 7 days. Notice the micro changes. They're no coincidence. They are echoes of the vibrational mirror beginning to respond. Share this video if you know someone who needs to become aware of what they are really emitting into the universe. Sometimes a simple change of perspective saves an entire existence. And remember, it's not about manipulating the universe. It's about aligning yourself with what is already true within you. The pure mirror of the ancients does not judge. It only reveals. And when you start to see this reflection clearly, there's no longer any way to blame the world. You understand that reality isn't something that happens to you. It's something that emerges from you. Don't think you need complex rituals. The greatest ritual is your attention. Wherever you place your awareness, there the mirror begins to form an image. When you realize that the game changes, you stop chasing, and you start choosing what will be reflected. Enjoy now if this has awakened a truth that was lying dormant. And write in the comments, I am the conscious reflection. Tag someone special and spread the word. Because the more people who wake up, the faster the world changes. The transformation has already begun, and it started with you. Few understand why a desire can seem stagnant, even when there is intention and visualization. This is where one of the most subtle and misunderstood mirrors comes in, the mirror of invisible time. Every creation requires a crossing between two worlds, the invisible, where everything begins, and the visible, where everything is revealed. But this passage is not instantaneous. There's a space between the thought and the result, a space that the ancients didn't ignore, they revered it. They called it the ethereal field. This field cannot be touched, but everything that can be touched was born in it. Every emotion, idea, or intention leaves an impression in this space, like a firm footprint left in the sand. This field is the true heaven from which answers emerge, and those who knew how to operate on this plane were considered masters. In Egypt, initiates used rituals to mentally inscribe their wishes in this space. They didn't beg, they wrote. It was silent writing, done with focus, breath, presence, and clarity. It didn't involve words, but stable vibration. They knew that whatever was held firmly on this plane would sooner or later have to emerge into matter. And here's the secret that many overlook. It's not speed that manifests, it's vibrational stability. A desire can be strong, but if the mind abandons it at the first sign of doubt, it dissolves before it is even born. The time of the universe is not the time of the clock. It is the time of vibrational consolidation. It is the time of energetic maturation. Imagine a sculptor working in marble. He knows he has to proceed with precision and calm. Each stroke has its time. It's the same with desire. It's an invisible sculpture that needs emotional and mental firmness until it's ready to reveal itself. In ancient traditions, apprentices were trained with intentional challenges. After declaring their purpose, they were exposed to situations that contradicted everything they had asked for. This wasn't cruelty, it was a test to measure the fidelity of the vibration. Those who remained connected to the inner vision, even in the face of the opposite, were considered ready to receive the real thing. This is the reflection of the second mirror. Resistance to vibrational collapse. The universe is sensitive to constancy. It doesn't move by loose words, but by stable frequencies. And if its energy varies with each emotion, the ethereal field finds no basis for crystallizing. That's why many manifestations fail. Not for lack of power, but for lack of vibrational continuity. If you're listening to this and recognize that you've been interrupting your own processes, enjoy this video now. This simple action helps anchor your commitment to steadiness. And write in the comments, "I'm consolidating my vibration." Declare this with conviction, and the field begins to reorganize. Now we're moving on to another mirror that's just as powerful, but even less understood: the mirror of hidden forms. The universe has a silent language, an invisible grammar made up of lines, proportions, and patterns. This language is repeated in galaxies, flowers, mountains, and the human body. No matter where you look, it is there, governing everything with precision. This language is sacred geometry. The ancients never built temples without considering this language. Every stone, angle, and symbol had a vibrational purpose. The goal wasn't beauty, it was attunement. They knew that certain features activated specific frequencies. A temple wasn't a building, it was a vibrational instrument. In India, the Sri Yantra represents this knowledge. A mandala made up of interlocking triangles that symbolize the union between matter and spirit, between masculine and feminine. Meditating in front of it isn't superstition. It's aligning yourself with the code of creation. In Egypt, this code is hidden in the structure of the pyramids. In Mexico, in the symmetry of Mayan constructions. In civilizations that never physically met, the same patterns were used. Why? Because form creates vibration, and vibration shapes reality. And this goes beyond architecture. Your body is also a temple. Your physical structure follows the same cosmic proportions. Your DNA, your face, your hands, they all obey the pattern of the golden ratio. This means that the same code that governs the stars governs you. And why does that matter? Because when your mind aligns with universal geometry, your thoughts pick up speed. The etheric field responds more quickly when what you emanate is in resonance with the sacred pattern. Imagine your thoughts as shapes. If they are chaotic, misaligned, and unstable, they create distortions. But if they are orderly, intentional, and harmonious, they fit in with the natural design of existence, and manifestation accelerates. This brings us to a crucial principle. Internal harmony generates external synchronicity. Reality is not random. It's a direct consequence of a structure you support inside. If you want to see fluidity out there, there needs to be vibrational organization in here. Here are 3 examples that illustrate this. 1. The architecture of the Taj Mahal was designed based on the golden ratio, the same one that is in your bones and on your face. This proportion creates a vibration of balance. 2. The Konark Solar Temple has 12 wheels that represent the months and cycles of the human body, a direct connection between cosmic time and biological time. 3. The lines of your palm contain curves and shapes that reflect natural structures, such as trunks, rivers, and leaf veins. You are nature itself, compressed into human form. These signs show that the universe does not manifest itself at random. It follows patterns. And when you think according to these patterns, everything around you comes into sync. So it's not just about wishing. It's about organizing the vibration of your thoughts. To apply this, try observing patterns for 3 days. In clouds, flowers, faces, buildings. Train your eyes to see beyond the surface. The more you recognize harmony outside, the more you begin to activate it inside. Enjoy this video now if you've already begun to perceive this hidden harmony, and share it with someone who lives in internal chaos. Maybe they just need to learn to listen to the pattern of the universe. Write in the comments, "I'm aligning myself with the design of creation," and see what starts to change in your reality over the next few days. At this point, 2 mirrors have already been activated, support in invisible time and alignment with universal form. Together, they form the bridge between intention and manifestation. But there's more. On the next stage, we'll look at the mirror that defines not what you want, but what you are. And that's where the transformation deepens. Before any transformation, the ancients taught a silent but unquestionable truth. Nothing flourishes on soil laden with old residues. That's why the next mirror doesn't reflect desires or thoughts. It reflects the emotional traces you carry. It is the mirror of vibrational purification. In ancient rituals, there was no manifestation without a cleansing process first. Whether through fire, sound, breathing, or prolonged silence, the goal was always the same: to undo the patterns that still bind the energy to the past. Vedic cultures lit the yigya fire not just as an offering, but as a symbol of transmutation. Each flame was a representation of the mind being burned away so that a new consciousness could emerge. In the mysteries of Eleusis, initiates went through intense rites to release the emotional charge that distorted their reality. These practices had a purpose. There's no point in planting new thoughts on old emotions. The vibration that commands your reality is not what you want. It's what you feel most consistently. That's why many positive affirmations don't work, because they are being said with words of light, but loaded with emotions of shadow. And the mirror of the universe is not naive. It picks up the real vibration, not the speech. This is where many people get frustrated. They think they're doing everything right, but they don't realize that they're just covering up pain with pretty phrases. Healing doesn't happen in layers. It happens through release. This mirror requires courage. The courage to feel, to look at what is still bothering you, to welcome it and dissolve it. The ancients called this breaking the poison pattern, the ability to interrupt a frequency that has been repeated for lifetimes. This is the moment to ask, what is still vibrating inside me, even if I don't want it to? And if the answer comes, don't fight it. Acknowledge it, because everything you resist persists. But what is seen with awareness dissolves like mist in the sun. This is the alchemy that transforms suffering into wisdom. And when this liberation takes place, the mirror reflects a new field. If this makes sense to you, enjoy this video now. Your conscious vibration contributes to the strength of the content and activates your active participation in this field. And write in the comments, "I'm releasing what no longer belongs to me." Give a name to what you are letting go of. Sharing it is an act of power. And then we come to the last and most profound mirror. The reflection that doesn't show what you think, feel, or want. It shows what you believe yourself to be. It is the mirror of the supreme identity. At this stage, there is no longer any separation between creator and creation. The whole journey so far, the hermetic reflection, invisible time, sacred geometry, vibrational purification, all these paths lead to a single point, recognizing that you are the origin of everything that lives. The Vedic traditions called this realization Aham Brahmasmi, I am the all. The Egyptians represented it in the figure of Thoth, the principle of creative thought. And in non-dual doctrines, this recognition is called Advaita, the dissolution of the illusion of separation. You're not trying to manifest a reality. You're already creating a reality every second with what you are. The final mirror is not a surface. It is your naked conscience. When you face yourself fully, without masks, without defenses, without illusions, you discover something extraordinary. The world was never against you. It was just a reflection of you. At that moment, the questions disappear. Searches cease, because there's nothing left to conquer but to remember. You are the field. You are the reflection. You are the mirror. And everything around you is an echo of your essence vibrating outwards. But beware, this revelation is not a place you reach with logic. It's a place you access with presence. When you are totally surrendered to the now, without wishing to escape, that's when the final mirror appears. And when that happens, everything changes. Situations no longer control your state. People no longer define your value. Time no longer dictates your pace, because you have become the center of the mirror. And that's where the real manifestation begins. Not because you want something, but because you already are what you want. And what you are can't help but manifest itself. If this truth has touched something deep inside you, share this video with anyone who needs reminding of who they really are. Tag someone special. Show that you are aware of your origin. And write in the comments, I am the source. Like this content, subscribe, and activate the bell. Because every week, new keys like this one are delivered here, not to entertain you, but to remind you. You're not standing in front of an external mirror. You are the mirror. You are the image. And you are the light that reflects everything that exists. That's not a metaphor. It's the truth. Now go, but not in a hurry. Go with presence. Take with you the certainty that you don't observe reality. You project it with every emotion, every choice, and every vibration. The mirror is clean, and he awaits his new image.